It is 9 o'clock and we are just getting on trail this morning. Today can be kind of tricky depending on what happens. So from here, as I mentioned yesterday, we are leaving Big Brushy with a 26.5 mile gap between water sources listed on gut hooks. As a result, we've requested a cache from the Bluebell Country Store in Story. Lori said she'd be happy to help us out. So at Forest Road 76, which is about 10 miles from where we are now, we should be looking for a water cache on a picnic table near that area so we can fill up the water that we have now. We have a 4-liter capacity, so we can fill that up and probably take some extra bottles to get us to Turner Gap Shelter, where the goal is to have enough water to cook and drink and all that, and still have 2 liters to hike out with the next morning, so we can hike the remaining 11 miles to Foreign Gap, where we will go into Mina. So this is going to be a tricky stretch. Hopefully everything goes according to plan. It stormed yesterday. I showed you guys that on video. It's still overcast and starting to get warm, and as a result it's really humid. But hey, we're out here. This is part of the adventure. Onward. Well, we've come to a water cache. This is not actually the water cache that we requested. This is one that somebody else has left. There is a picnic table over there. Fancy Pantz is going to investigate another section where he thinks water bottles have been left. But yeah, this is the dry section of the trail, and people have been kind enough to leave water. And here, just a couple hundred feet from the other water cache, is water bottles. So for the people who come out here and support the hikers, you have our thanks. This is a really dry section. This would be hard to do without you, so thank you very much. Well, we're approaching Turner Gap Shelter down here. There's a lot of dark clouds overhead. It's only about 4:30. It's not nighttime yet here, so there's a good chance that we're going to get rained on. So we want to get down in the shelter before it starts. I felt a couple of drops already, so. Oh, there we are, Turner Gap Shelter. I still have 5 liters of water left, so thanks to the cache. So that'll be plenty for us to cook tonight, drink tonight, and get into Foreign Gap tomorrow so we can go to Mina.
It's a little after 5 in the morning. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not, but that is heavy rain on the roof of the shelter. We have to get up and get ready. We have to be at Foreign Gap by 2 o'clock, get picked up, and taken into Mina. Looks like we're going to start on pouring down rain.
Well, it's about 7:44 in the morning. We're about 2.5 miles into the trail. We're in a cloud. That's a whiteout all around us, so we can't really see the views. And the trail isn't playing nice anymore. It is going straight up mountains. No switchbacks, no S-curves. Just incredibly severe gradients going up the mountains. We need to make a total of 11.8 no later than 2 o'clock, because that's when our ride is going to be at the Foreign Gap trailhead. Onward. Well, it's been raining on us pretty much constantly since we've left this morning. We have arrived here at Foreign Gap. We're early. It's going to be a couple hours before our ride arrives, so we're going to have to find a place to hunker down. So our ride picked us up and took us into Mina. That was Rick. He was great. He also had taken us up to the cabin that we rented in Lori. Really nice guy. But we've got into the hotel room, and I've got to say, this is probably the rattiest hotel I've stayed in. Sheets are ripped. There is crud all over the walls. There's something sticking out of this plug. The lamps are all torn up and ripped. The carpet wasn't vacuumed when we got in here. So, yeah, I mean, we're hikers, so we'll make it work. At least we got running water and can take a hot shower. But it did probe me to start checking the bed for bed bugs. And I checked in the seams and the creases and stuff and didn't find anything. Hopefully I'm correct on that. But yeah, Executive Inn in Mina. Guy at the front desk really wasn't that hospitable. And this room, the door was open when we got here, so we didn't even use the key. And the room's not in great shape. But we definitely ran into some logistical problems here. In addition to staying in the worst hotel I think I've ever personally stayed in. We're having trouble finding a way out of here tomorrow. Fancy Pantz is off doing our laundry. Luckily, there was a coin laundry across the street, so that worked out for us. So we can get our stuff all clean, because it's gross. We got our resupply box from the post office. But we have a problem with transportation. The people from Stoy were kind enough to come out and grab us from the trailhead this afternoon and take us into town. But with over 16 miles to do tomorrow, we need to get out of the hotel and back to Foreign Gap rather quickly, so they're not going to be available to do that for us. And while I did expect that a small town could easily not have Uber or Lyft, we cannot find a ride service or a taxi of any kind, so we don't have a way out of here. So unless something pops up, and I've done some extensive research so far, we are probably going to have to go out to the main road and take our hiker to trail sign and stick our thumbs out and hitch. And our ability to get back to the trail early in the morning is really, I mean, that's very important for us to stay on schedule, because we've got this trip planned right down to the day. We're supposed to be done on the 18th, and then the 19th we're flying out. So we have to have enough time to make our miles every single day. So the plan is to try to hitch tomorrow, and the continued success of this trail and us being able to continue will depend on us getting out early enough tomorrow to be able to hike our 16 miles. If we can't get a hitch, the trail will be over for us, so wish us luck. Alright, so we got our resupply box here. And we got all kinds of goodies in it. Time to get this stuff all organized and packed up. Alright, it is 7:30 in the morning on October the 15th. We are packing up our bags, getting ready to head out and see if we can get a hitch back up to the trailhead. Well, we got our hikers to trail sign out here. We've been out here for about half an hour. We've had a couple of waves. Nobody is picking us up. We have about a half hour more to realistically get on trail and make it in time for our schedule. We're going to try for that long, and if not, we may have to call it quits and come back and do the Foreign Gap to Tallahena State Park section at another time. Sometimes that's the breaks. We'll see what happens. Well, at the last second, we did manage to get picked up and get out to the trail. It's 9:25. We got 16.5 to go today. It's probably going to be after dark. We're supposed to make it to the Queen Wilhelmina Lodge today. We were going to eat dinner there. I don't know if we're going to make it in time to be able to do that. And they have campsites out there. I guess they have tenting sites. Hopefully we get there in time to secure ourselves a tent site and maybe get some food. But we're about to hit the trail. Thunderstorms are expected today on top of everything else. So it's going to be a wild ride today. We got picked up by a Texan who was staying at a hotel out there right when we were about to give up on hitchhiking. So here we go. Well, we are soaked. The thunderstorm came through, and it's been raining on us off and on ever since we got on trail. It's definitely cold and wet. It reminds me of Seattle, to tell you the truth. This is kind of like fall hiking in Seattle. We are about 7 miles away from Queen Wilhelmina Lodge. We're having a snack and scarfing down some lunch real quick. And then we're gonna beat feet and see if we can get to the lodge by dinner time. All right, guys, so we're a little bit off the beaten path. We hiked into Wilhelmina, and they do not have tent spots or rooms available right now. They've got some sort of a biker race going on this time of year, and everything is full up. Just a couple miles down the road from the lodge, though, there's an old country store, and the people down there are really great. They offered us food and lodging for the night. He's got some campsites down here and a pavilion. I'm going to show this to you guys. I'm going to be hanging my hammock up down here in this pavilion, and Fancy is going to be using this little campsite right here and putting his tent on that spot. The country store's got grilled burgers and ice cream and all kinds of stuff down there. The guys are really nice. They even offered to drive us into town if we needed to get anything from town. So yeah, we're getting that southern hospitality right now. Anyway, we're going to stay here for tonight. Then we'll be going back up to the lodge and getting back on trail from there, and then from there it's 3 days to Talihina. So yeah, that's what's going on. Well, it is 9:35 in the morning. We had a pretty pleasant stay last night. I slept good. We had this pavilion all to ourselves. We had this little fire kettle that we were able to make a fire and sit around and visit with some people. Folks at this country store are really nice. If you get the opportunity, definitely stop in and see them. It's a couple miles off the beaten path, but it's definitely worth it. We are headed back up to the Wilhelmina Lodge to get back on the trail. We're supposed to do about 18 miles today. We're getting a late start, so we gotta hustle. Hi. I've said it before, I'll say it again. You never know what you're gonna find on the trail. All right, back to the trail, Ouachita Trail. Storm damage area, watch for falling tree limbs. Alrighty. Well, I think this is probably the tall grass and stickers we were told we were going to run into several days ago. Looks like trail maintenance has been through here and has actually taken care of the problem. So that's awesome. Thank you, trail maintenance. Alrighty. Ouachita Trail, Kiamichi River. The shelter we're going to is 12 miles away. I can't even pronounce that. Pashube. I have no idea. I'm sure I'm butchering it. Well, the terrain on this side has become really, really rocky. It's kind of slowing us down a bit because you have to watch where you step. It is not quite as bad as Rocksylvania on the Appalachian Trail, at least not so far, but it's definitely not allowing us to keep the pace we want. Well, about a mile back we passed the shelter sign, and apparently that was state line shelter, and I just checked the gut hooks and we are just about, looks like about a half a mile into the state of Oklahoma. So we are no longer in Arkansas. There was no state line sign that I saw, unless I'm just blind. But we are now in Oklahoma. The trip is almost over. Coming out to a trailhead. Upper Kiamichi River Wilderness. So we just came out of. Oh, here we are. A Shubei shelter, or however you pronounce that. Same amenities as all the other ones. Picnic table, which is nice. Fire pit. What a day. Oh, well, it is the second to last morning. We have 34 miles left to go. We're just leaving this Pashube shelter right now. We got a 17.2 today to another shelter whose name at the moment I can't remember, but it is almost over, folks. Ouachita Trail. So we were a little short on water coming in, and we had about 1.5 liters each to leave camp with. This is the first water source we've seen in a while, and there's not much to it. It is dry down there, and it's dry up there, but from the rains there's a little bit of a puddle, so we're gonna collect some water. We found a much better water source. It's actually flowing. Alright, we are coming up on Winding Stairs Shelter right now. We're gonna have lunch here. It's been a warm day, despite how chilly it has been at night. It got down probably into the low 40s to possibly high 30s last night. We had the gear for it, but definitely colder than it was at the beginning of this trip. Has Winding Stair Shelter. Pretty much looks like the rest of them. These things are nice though. Break time. Howdy.
How you doing?
Doing all right. Well, we are 4 miles from our next water source and 20 miles from the finish. Well, here we are at Horse Beef Springs. Water is trickling out of there. We're gonna try to get it from over there where it's coming out. The stuff on the surface doesn't look real appetizing, so we're gonna see if we can get it coming out of there. But this is the last water we're gonna see for a while. Definitely the last water we're gonna see before we get to our shelter tonight. Ingenuity with a folding cup allows us to get water flowing from that trickle directly into the bottles. Because we don't want to drink this. This is nasty. Well, it's slow going. The trail for the last couple of miles has turned into one big rock garden, which definitely slows progress. But we are almost there. Talamina Drive is 0.1 up that way, so just over the hill. And we are currently headed over there to Wholesome Vista Shelter. Appropriately named because that is a pretty amazing view. Well, it's 6:30 in the morning. Last day of hiking, 16.8 to go. It has been an adventure. One more day. So this is what we're dealing with. Boulder hopping. It is slow going. Well, we should be coming down to the end here. I'm hearing car sounds. We should be nearing Talamina State Park. Coming out here in just like 0.1 or so. This has been one heck of a trip. What we got here? Okay. Should be close to the end. Looks like we've hit the park. It still blazes. I'm not quite sure where it ends. Okay. Is that it? Well, I think that might be it, guys. Well guys, it looks like this is the end of the trail. That's mile 0 right there, and this is the Ouachita Trail sign. So we finished it, 223 miles done. This was a rough trail, and Fancy has got himself a little bit of a limp from all those miles. If you like what we do, be sure to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell at the bottom so you know when we make future content. And you can also check us out on Instagram at Epic Outdoors. Now get off your butts and go play outside.